I'm gonna let everybody in.
All right. Let me know when I can go, Bob.
Yep, a couple loading up still. I have 7 o'clock, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we're going to start this meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals, Wednesday, September 24th, 2025, will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time. This meeting is being recorded, and within 48 hours, a link of the recording will be posted on the town's website or other social media page. The following members of the Bridgewater Zoning Board of Appeals are currently participating remotely. Myself, Brian Heath, Chair, Anna Klimas, Vice Chair, Dan Greenberg, Member,
Amanda did join.
Amanda's
Mr.
here, yeah.
and Amanda Mattel, Associate Member. During this meeting, all votes of the board will be taken as roll call votes. Following Bridgewater Town staff will also participate by participating remotely. Robert Rulli, Director of Community and Economic Development. So at the start of the meeting, everyone's mics will be muted. The board's mics will be unmuted throughout the whole meeting. And as it appears on the agenda, the project representatives' mics will be unmuted. If the project is a public hearing and allows for public comment, we will ask that you use the chat feature to ask your questions by listing your name and address and your question. The chair will recognize all questions in order. You can also use the raise my hand feature in the participant menu, and you'll be unmuted when the chair recognizes you. Again, state your name and address before you ask your question. If you're on a phone, you can use the *9 to raise your hand and ask your question in that fashion. Right now, we're going to start the meeting. We have one public comment. Public hearing. It's 45 Prospect Street. It's an appeal of the building inspector's decision. Is the participant for this request here?
Yes, Joanne is raising her hand.
Can I unmute myself?
You're on mute.
I'm still on mute.
No,
Oh, you're
we can
unmuted.
hear you.
We got
Oh,
you.
okay. Yes, I'm Joanne Farnham.
And your address,
Thank
please?
you all. I am the person who is appealing the zoning board decision.
The zoning board
not
hasn't made the
zoning board.
decision.
Right, hasn't made the decision, but the building inspector.
But you live
basically-
at 45 Prospect. That's what
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So if you would just please help the board understand what it is you're
Sure.
asking for.
What happened is I bought this property almost 40 years ago. And we bought it specifically because they said it was business owned, the builders. And I don't even know if they're still around or if they've passed, but basically it was Farnham land clearing. My husband had it here for a bit, and that's why we purchased the property. And he has since passed away. But I thought it was business owned, and I actually looked at some maps and and then I think it was appearing as to be GBD, which is either gateway business. I know you might be able to see that because the corner of Prospect Street is there, and I live next to a field, and that's not on here either. It's just the short street. It's a very short street. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's right next to the Scotland Field, and I've owned for almost 40 years. It would be 40 years in April. And basically, my process is that I want to clarify what is the use for this. property now because I was told, and I know there was a business here before. It was subdivided land by a gentleman named Potwin. And it basically came up and there was an electric thing on my house because it was a garage property in the back. Automotive, actually. Automotive business going on. Because when I cleared the land, about a little over a year ago, I did it because basically I wanted to have plans for what could be for the future of the property. And I ran into a ton of debris. I got rid of 250 tires. There was antique, either a door from probably a truck, a small pickup truck, but these are definitely things that were before I ever bought this property. And I know a lot has happened in the years past, but again, I don't know if I was given incorrect information, if it was never business, but I believe strongly it was like a mixed use. So basically, the Perkin and Baker, the builders, told us in 1986 that the property was business zoned with an automotive business. And basically, yeah, he had, dump trucks. It was a land clearing business that my husband had. But even before that, there was something in business. It was a business, this place. And like I say, when I cleared the land, there was so much stuff underneath the ground that I wanted to do the right thing. And I actually paid to get rid of the tires through the industrial park, down a little further before Home Depot. And basically, I had to pay to get rid of a lot of the debris, which was a business. So I'm just wanting clarification. If what I'm doing is incorrect, I certainly don't want to do anything wrong. So I just never got notified. I know Mr. Solari told me things have changed. He said the bylaws even changed recently. And I just asked, well, what date did these bylaws change? And I actually looked up 3.4.1 and I couldn't find what page on the 114 pages of the bylaws for the town. I couldn't find it. So if I just get some clarification what's going on, I felt like I needed my voice to be heard, not to be causing any issues, but I just want to know where I stand as far as what can I do with all this now.
Okay. Well, Ms. Farnham, right now, if you go on to the town website, you can pull up a zoning planning map. And the only business district is, it's really from the church and sort of down, and it's a general business district. It's a mixed type use. Your property is it residential A, B zone, which only allows a personal home. And specifically to your question earlier, also the bylaws are on there, and on page 7 is 3.4.1. And that's the home occupation. And it just allows you to have, a single family home for occupancy. And it's also in section, where is it here? 3.4.4, it says you cannot utilize exterior storage of material or equipment, including the parking of commercial vehicles. That's not allowed in a residential district. We've had small businesses that have come before us. They may have been doing it for a while, and they may have just gone under the radar, and then somebody brought it up, and we don't go out looking for these things. People bring them to us. And in this situation right now, again, it's zoned as residential AB. So it's really for personal residence. And you're not allowed under the bylaws to run a business out of that area.
Okay, so what, you can't do anything, even if it's just quiet store, it doesn't like hurt,
You're not. again, some people may have something on the land, and people, the town, not to my knowledge, Bob really may know different, may go around looking, but unless something's brought to us, and in this case, you brought it to us, and abutters were notified, and I believe there are a bunch of them here. In a residential area, having a bunch of commercial trucks and trailers and stuff sitting in a backyard with somebody out having to look at it, that's really why the bylaw is there. It's residential property for home use and occupancy. So the bylaw is basically stated in residential, you can't run a business like that out of a
Yeah.
residential area.
I understand. The truck, they're gone anyway. So,
So, Ms. Farnham, just so you know that, we don't know what the builder told you or what might have been in place at that time. It very well might have been business, but it's not anymore. And anytime we have a business that ceases to exist, whatever right it had went away. So then we adopted new zoning ordinances, and this was zoned residential. So there wasn't any continuous use of the business. There's no registration of the business. So in our eyes, the business didn't exist, and it's not allowed now. So, I mean, apologies if somebody had given you the wrong information. Or you were,
definitely, yeah.
but we are where we are now.
Mhm.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
as Bob states, the zoning board of appeals, all we can do is go by the bylaws that are currently in place. And the bylaws that are in place now, and as Bob said, I can't, I wasn't there. I don't know what someone told you. I wasn't here in 86. I didn't get here until late 90s. But the bylaws state that it's residential AB, and that running a business or keeping storage containers on it or commercial vehicles is not part of allowed under residential AB.
Even your own storage? It's just my personal private storage?
You can have a
Yeah.
storage shed, but like the metal containers that some people may have, and if they're multiples, you're allowed one outbuilding. I think it's rough. Bob, is it 900 square feet?
Yeah, 900 or less.
Yeah. A
But you
detached
can't have a
900 or less.
commercial trailer and say that's storage.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, it is a public hearing.
Yeah. I was gonna say if Ms. Farnham, if you don't have anything else we'll open up the meeting to the public for any comment that may come.
So if you're here
Oh,
to offer comments and your camera's on, raise your hand or use the chat feature to let me know that you want to speak. And if you are going to speak, please identify yourself, your name and address.
Yeah.
Am I not seeing any hands? So, Mr. Chairman, I am not seeing any hands on camera or virtually or chat.
Okay. Again, Ms. Farnham, unless you have anything addition to add, okay, I see you raising your hand.
I actually have my
Chairman.
grandson races
Someone
little,
just,
um,
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, someone else is talking.
Mr. Chairman, I believe Marie is trying to get your attention.
Hey, let me
Jeez.
find Marie. Oh, there she is. You're on mute. Can you unmute yourself, Marie? There you go.
Yep, yes, I have. So my name is Marie Boyce Higgins. We live at 13 Cassidy Place, Bridgewater, which our backyard abuts the property at 45 Prospect Street. I did send a letter to the board, zoning board of appeals. When we bought this property in 2016, one of the reasons we bought it was because it was a nice wooded area behind our home. My back deck backed up to it. Within the last year, Joanne is right, she has cleared the land. There's also been multiple boats, campers, tractor trailers, even tiny houses put on the property. It's a disruption, it's ugly, it devalues our property for resale. I wouldn't have bought something that abutted a business on.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, 1 minute, Joanne. Bob, is there any, it's open up to public comment right now, Joanne, so if there's other
Just
people.
Scrolling, I do not see any other hands, and I don't see anything in the chat, and I think we're good.
Okay, Joanne, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I knew several years ago when Cassidy Place was being built, the developer probably should have put fence up on that side too, because it was down with the church and it's on the other side. And I caught several kids trespassing. They were from Cassidy Place. And so I was actually trying to get some extra money to put a fence up the whole property, because I have issues with the baseball field a little bit. And so basically, we kind of knew this was going to be an issue since it was never, put up. It really should have been put in by the developer all around the property, because it's a 45-foot strip that goes before from my property to the neighbor's property he's not on. So it's just, it definitely needs to be closed in to stop trespasses too. But again, it's very costly. I had estimates, and
Yeah.
so it's not like, it shouldn't have been done. I have to agree that possibly some evergreens or something, but
And I would just say that I think that's kind of a separate issue. I think that whether or not there's anything that protects the view, there's still an expectation of what should and shouldn't be on the property. And I think that's kind of the root of the matter here.
Yes.
And Joanne, I know where the property is. I've gone by it multiple times. Prior to that being constructed, it was my understanding that, and you kind of alluded to the fact that you cleared a bunch of the land. So there was woods behind it, and usually developers won't, when they're abutting woods and they don't think people are going to be doing anything, they're not required because it's just woods. If it were a house, then maybe there's a difference there, but clearing the land kind of opened it up.
yeah, I think so, because it's 1.4 acres, so it's really not useful for anything way back there.
Yeah.
But I was trying to do something useful, but I guess it's not working, and that's okay.
All right. Well, hopefully we've answered your questions.
Thank you all very much.
All right.
Yeah, so there's no problem with putting a dirt bike track back there for my grandson? He's a champion. He does very well and travels all over.
He's only 6.
Like a motorcycle dirt track?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You look, I can't say 100%, but then you could get a noise issue.
Okay.
I would
Just check.
suggest you ask Mr. Solari.
I would leave that
Yeah.
up to the zoning enforcement officer.
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
That's beyond ours.
Okay, thank you.
Can you?
Yeah. I guess you gotta ask before you do anything, and that makes sense, then.
Yeah.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. All have a wonderful night. I'll listen on.
Thank you. Okay. We have some administrative stuff, so we're
You
gonna.
need a motion to close the public
Yes, I
hearing.
was just gonna say, so we
Hello?
need to make a motion to close the public hearing. If Anna or Dan,
I'll make a motion to close the public portion of this hearing.
I'll second it.
all right, all in favor? Dan,
Aye.
Anna,
Aye.
Amanda,
Aye.
and myself as well, aye. So as of now, the public portion of this meeting is done. Okay,
So are you going to take a vote on denying the appeal?
is
Do we
this?
need a motion or are we going to take a vote on it?
I think you need a motion to, or somebody has to move it.
Yep.
So
So I'll make,
we're just going, because Bob, I was like, all right, well, we're not, it's an appeal. I didn't know it was,
Yeah, I mean, you had a public hearing on it, so you have to have some.
yeah,
action.
I hear you. So, I guess would be a motion in support of the building inspector's decision regarding the use of the,
Or it could just be simply a denial of her appeal.
and I'm prepared to make a motion to deny the appeal of the decision of the building inspector.
do we have a second?
Well, we're not denying the,
Not the appeal, well, it is appeal of the building inspector.
The appeal of the decision of the building inspector.
But she's appealing his letter.
Right.
denial. Oh, okay, okay, that's, okay. All right, do it again. Sorry.
It's wordy. It's a little wordy. So I'll make a motion to deny the appeal of the decision of the building inspector for 45 Prospect Street.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Dan?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Amanda?
Aye.
Okay. So the appeal of the building inspector's decision has been denied.
Right.
Okay. So that ends all public hearing matters.
So maybe for people that are online, the next two matters are administrative matters. There's no public comment. This is, there might be representatives of the applicants. They'll be the only people speaking other than members of the zoning board of appeals.
Okay. So the first item up we'll take is the Scotland Meadows. And there's a request for, excuse me, just too many things open. There were two conditions in the original proposal that are being requested as a minor modification. Do we have the representatives for Scotland Meadows?
I'm thinking that might be Steve. Is that you?
Or is it Paul?
I'm thinking that might be Steve. Is that you?
No, it's Paul.
Paul's raising his hand.
Okay.
Paul Puso.
Hi, my name is Heidi Correa. I represent Delphic Associates,
Oh, okay.
and we are representing.
Can I stop you for a
Yeah,
second?
I slipped
one
on that
second.
last step.
Could we just mute Steve? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good evening. My name's Heidi Correa. I'm with Delphic Associates, and we're representing Scotland Meadow Estates for their modification of the permit.
Okay. So if you could walk us through the request, would be appreciated.
Okay, as you may know, this property has been around for some time. It was originally permitted in 2014. It's been through a couple of developers until recently, when our team purchased the property. They're moving full speed ahead to complete the project, working with the town, and making sure the permit is followed as written. We do have a couple of modifications that we'd like the board to review. First modification would be the location of the affordable units. The original, the second builder started construction on the property and started to build 4 homes. But those homes have sat now for about 5 years weathering New England. But those homes have
Right. If you're not the applicant or a member
now
of
for
ZBA,
about
please
5
mute
years
yourself.
weathering.
How would they, I thought everybody's muted.
Some people unmute themselves,
How would they, I thought everybody's muted.
but they're not. So Scott, I need you to mute yourself. Because I'm hearing myself back.
I think there's also two Scott Burgess. I don't know if there's an echo, if he has two things open right
Yeah,
now.
that's exactly what he has going on. Sorry, ma'am.
That's fine. So getting back to the four homes.
There's
that have
also
been
two
rented-
Scott Burgess. I don't know. Things open right now.
That's exactly what he has.
That's
Sorry, ma'am.
fine. So
Scott,
getting back to the four homes that-
would you mind muting? Scott, thank you. That seems to solve it.
Okay. Our
more
team
time.
the four homes that were built had been left. When our clients purchased the property, they took on the responsibility of completing those homes. At which time, three of the homes are mostly completed. And the fourth home is on its way to being completed. There's still some road work that needs to be done, and we'd like to change the locations of the affordables to help move the financial process along. In most developments, you start with, 3 or 4 homes. When you build those, then you get another 3 or 4 homes. So it follows along, it helps the financial stability of the project to continue so the project can be completed. So we're asking to relocate the lots. All the lots are very similar in size, so it's not we don't like this one or that one. We spread the locations evenly throughout the development, like is required in the guidelines. With the intention of building 3 market rate to 1 affordable, which is also a guideline regulation. So that would be our first request. The second request would be to change the architectural designs from the old design to new designs that we presented in the package. The reason being, the older designs were a little more cumbersome when it came to the garage, as the garage was placed on the side of the house. So you had to turn into the side of the house, which made it a little bit difficult about backing out into your driveway. These homes are front load garage, so you drive straight in, you drive straight out, and by doing that, it has now opened up a side yard, which you wouldn't have had before with the side driveways. The homes are roughly the same size. The old original homes that were proposed were between 1,800 and 2,000 square feet. And our homes are 1,800 to 2,200 square feet. The bedroom count is both 3 and 4 bedrooms. Whether it be the affordable homes will be the same when you drive down the street. You will not be able to tell which homes are the affordable homes. That's also a guideline that they're indistinguishable, as to not pick and choose, or that people are aware that it's an affordable property. So that is our request for our modifications.
We did get your package and I've gone through it. One of the things is, as you said, this project was approved a while ago,
Long time ago.
and it's honestly sailed through because the homes that were proposed were beautiful. I'm having a hard time distinguishing what you're proposing. I mean, because I don't have the old designs, so I don't know, we're talking apples and oranges here. I see them, it's a front, as you said, it's a front load. Sometimes the garage is on the right, sometimes it's on the left. You got a couple of pitches on that. But I don't know how different it is. And these are just pure sketches. We were provided with nice, beautiful drawings of what was being developed.
They are being developed. Unfortunately, they weren't going to be ready for this evening, but we will forward them to you once we have them. But these homes are a little bit more of what's in the marketplace now, very New England style, colonial type looking homes, beautiful front porch, dormers, yard
if I could-
landscaping.
If I could add a little insight, I know a little bit about this property. I've seen it. And the way that some of the houses are designed now, you actually have to go down a slope and drive under into a garage. And the proximity from the driveway and the garage to the next lot line is very tight. So in doing a front loading design like this, it actually makes it a lot more feasible for the construction and for the flow of traffic kind of coming in and out of these driveways. So I would assume that the changes by the developer are to make it a little bit easier to build and not have those restraints. That would be my read on it.
Thank you.
And it's not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not questioning, I fully understand, these are narrow lots, front load is gonna be a lot easier. It's just hard to envision this versus, what was originally designed.
Is Steve here? I'd love to hear his input too, because I think he knows the project pretty well.
Steve Solari?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve is not here.
Well, the other thing that was a question, not a concern, but you stated as well, is that with these changes, as you know, the affordables can have to be indistinguishable from the full market rates.
Yes,
So are we still talking a mix? Now and I think before there were 6 designs and you're going down to 4,
correct.
and it's a mix of those 4 designs with the markets and the affordables. So there's not, the affordables all on one design.
No, there are 3 affordable models for the affordable, and there are 4 for the market rate. The reason being only 3 for the affordable is the 4th model is a large model. So it makes it more difficult for an affordable buyer to maintain the property once they own the property. So mass housing allows for larger homes to be eliminated so long as we're still offering the same amount of bedrooms as we normally would, which is both 3 and 4 bedrooms. The affordables will also have a 4-bedroom option.
All right. Anna or Amanda, Dan, any questions? I mean, I as one member of the board, I'm fine with the change of the locations.
Okay.
But we're a board of 4, so ask your questions and I'm not going to hog up the time here.
Yeah, I don't know if the distribution matters to me. I think it's within reason to.
They're
I mean, it's a
spread
new
out.
developer. Yeah, it's a new developer, and they don't want to keep everything the same as the old developer. There were obviously problems with the old developer, so they have to do what's right for them. But it doesn't sound like they're doing it in any way that would
No.
make them sell any less affordables. You're going to have to, and we could have this as a condition with the building inspector that for every 3 market rates you sell, you have to sell one affordable, which is written into law, so that's enforceable. And I don't have any problem. I actually like with someone with some construction background. I like the design of the new ones. Personally, I think it's a better look for the neighborhood, but that's personal preference. That's not really anything that's
Now,
enforceable here.
the 4 that are built though, those are the old designs, right?
They have been upgraded to somewhat fit in with the newer design so that
Okay.
they don't stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Like, wait a minute, we're going to have 4 that look really out of place.
No, they're trying to blend them in as best they can.
Okay. Understood.
Thank you.
All right.
Given the fact that this was permitted back in 2014 and that's a long time ago, and I think that these would qualify as minor modifications. The plans, as a non-architect person, they look great. I do think they fall under minor modifications and fit in the purview of what you're trying to do here with affordables. I don't really have any questions. It
Yeah,
makes sense
you have to
me.
sell them, so
Thank you.
Yeah.
the size is the same roughly, and
Yeah,
it's just a different exterior. And as you pointed out, that seems to be what's being built in the area. So,
yeah.
Amanda, do you have any questions or anything?
No questions or concerns.
Okay.
I think everything looks great.
All right. Does somebody want to make a motion on these two requests for modification in relation to the original plan? Anyone? I can't.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minor requests for condition 2 and condition 5 for the project at Scotland Meadows.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Dan?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Myself, aye. All right, so the motion passes and the modifications are approved
So
as minor.
we'll prepare a letter from the ZBA to the applicant, letting them know that the minor modification has been approved.
Thank you
Yep.
very much. Thank you
Thank
to
you.
all of
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. The next up on this is Duxborough Estates.
And Mr. Greenberg needs to recuse himself from this
Right.
discussion.
So right now it'll just be Anna and Amanda and I
Correct.
ruling on this one.
So
So
I believe
Rebecca,
somebody from Silva Engineering might be here.
I think I see Rebecca.
Rebecca's here on the
I'm
beach.
here.
She's on the beach. Yes.
I'm on the beach. I love the beach. Okay, my turn. Here we go.
Your
Okay.
turn. Walk us through it, Rebecca.
Okay, good evening. Rebecca from Silver Engineering and others from Stonebridge as needed. So hopefully we won't need them. But I have pictures I will share. Well, we like pictures, don't we? Okay, share pictures. It's been a while since we've been back to Duxborough.
Yeah.
Sharing successful?
Success.
Success. All right, so here's the overall picture, right? Remember 148 homes, 6 phases. And out of 148 homes and all of these 20-something pages of design, I messed up on one lot. And so the first request would be to fix infamous lot number 48. In this office, it's infamous because it's the only one with less than 10,000 square feet. This is the original plan. This was 9,817. It passed through all of our reviews. It just slipped. So the plan that we're looking to do is a simple little sliver, because that's all we need. And we're gonna take a sliver from the open space parcel, and we're going to give it to what is now considered Assessor's Map 75 to make this a 10,000,
4 feet.
yeah, thank you. And a legally conforming lot with the 10,000 square foot minimum.
Okay.
That's the first request. That's hopefully pretty straightforward in its minorness. So then we can move on to the request for lots to use lanterns instead of the streetlights. We had a bunch of streetlights all over the whole subdivision. I won't bore you with that image.
I would take these separately.
Oh, you want to
Brian.
vote separately? Okay, I didn't know.
All right.
Do we want- Okay,
All right, everybody, Amanda, Anna, you've seen it. They're taking a little sliver to meet the requirement of the 10,000 square feet. Pretty minor in relation to what they're taking. Any questions to Rebecca?
No questions.
No.
Could we have a motion to accept the minor modification to lot? I think what was the original lot?
lot
48.
48.
Yeah,
Yeah.
subdivision lot
I'll make a
48.
motion to accept the minor modification to lot 48.
To allow it to conform to the 10,000 square foot.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Can we get a second on that?
I'll second that motion.
All right. Everybody in favor? Anna,
Aye.
Amanda,
Aye.
and myself, aye. So that motion passes. You, as Bobby alluded to earlier, you'll get a notification that the request for the modification to lot 48, stretching it out to the 10,000 square feet, has been approved.
It will have to be recorded as well, so it is legally follows the chain of title.
Yep.
Okay, the second request was to allow driveway lanterns in lieu of streetlights. Again, we had a number of streetlights scattered throughout the subdivision. In lieu of that, we've done some beautiful driveway lanterns. The typical layout would look similar to this. I even brought some visual aid on what they currently look like. So you can see they fit the neighborhood very well. I got another one too. Looking down the street, you can see driveway lanterns are all along the way, as opposed to periodic streetlights. This would give it a more comfy and homey kind of feeling.
Are those, Rebecca, are those on just, do those functions just like streetlights, like they all go on at once?
Correct, they
Stay
are
on?
photosensitive, yep.
All right,
They're,
so
they're hardwired to the house and they turn on automatically.
they're not wired to the house,
They're
right?
hardwired to the
Oh,
house.
to the house.
There's no on off, it's just on when daylight.
Photo cells there.
Yes. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So when they were streetlights, were the electric would be paid by whom?
Well, it would be by the town because it would be accepted as a street.
But up until the time it was accepted as a street.
If
I
it,
just want to make sure that the homeowner is not incurring an expense they didn't know they were going to incur. Nominal as it might be, but
well, if it's hardwired to the house on a
it's off of their meter,
yeah.
where
And
streetlights wouldn't have been off their meter.
correct.
Well, it would
And
have been the town's responsibility until such time.
I thought we had this was deemed a private development.
Yeah, I don't know that we haven't accepted these roads, have we?
No, not to,
No.
not to my knowledge.
No. So, I mean, that's my point is at some point, the homeowner was ever anticipating they're paying for lights along the street.
Yeah. So Rebecca, it is a valid question. Does the homeowner know that they can't shut the light off in front of their house and that they're paying for it?
I'm gonna go with yes. Everyone has an agreement and even the spec home showed what a typical layout would be. This was decided early on in I guess, the layout of each of these homes.
So the HOA voted on this?
I don't think there is there is an HOA. I don't think the HOA has control yet.
Right. It's usually the developer's HOA until they sell so many units.
Yeah.
Rebecca, if I may.
Yes, I was gonna say, I have someone from Stonebridge. We have Rami who could help us with this.
Hi, Rami Itani, Duxboro Estates LLC manager. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for having us tonight. The lampposts that were proposed originally, those were going to be paid by the homeowners association until such time the town would approve the roads, which would also take over the streetlights. These lampposts are being offered to all the houses. They come as part of the standard package, and they're hardwired to the house. And like Rebecca said, there's no on-off switch. So the homeowners are paying for it and have been paying for it from day one, since this is basically, it sits on their property and they own the lamppost.
But that's also makes the homeowner the person responsible for maintaining it.
That is correct.
And I'm not an architect or an engineer, but how high I thought there was a condition in relation to the street lights because of the looms that it put out
Yeah.
for safety.
Yes, but these are closer together. The lamp posts we had were not as close as you probably imagine it. These are actually closer. I was almost going to take a picture illuminated. These are closer and they actually provide more light even if they are lower to the ground and LED than the typical street light.
So what would the luminums been on the streetlight versus these?
I don't have that answer.
And,
We never
and
actually
if
had
the
to do a
homeowners
photo.
are responsible, if something happens to them in a snowstorm, they get hit, then the homeowners are responsible to replace them, right? And then that's the,
Any of these subdivisions with these driveway lanterns, it's, the homeowners are aware that this is their responsibility.
Right, but what I'm saying is that the streetlights were under the association's responsibility, at least until if they could get the road accepted by the town. Now you've got each individual homeowner responsible for the maintenance of these. And if they go out and they don't fix them, there's nothing anybody, I guess, they can do unless there's something in the agreement, the homeowner's agreement, that requires them, the association's agreement that requires them to replace or fix or.
So I don't believe there is anything in writing within the homeowners association today that states that they have to replace it. However, there are conditions and rules and regulations within the the homeowners association that they need to maintain the exterior. And I would think if there is a lamppost that is broken or that is not working, that would fall under the purview of the outside maintenance. Therefore, we can enforce it as part of the homeowners association. Or we can just add a simple rule to the homeowners association rules and regulations that state that the exterior lampposts need to be maintained if they're broken or the light needs a light bulb or whatever it is. For that maintenance part of it.
I mean, the only thing, Rami, that my concern is generally in an association like that. You're right. There is the exterior. You got to maintain it, but usually the lamp posts which are taking the place of outside streetlights have never been in the developments that I've worked with have never been included. It's always been the associations, so you knew that they were going to get fixed. So I'm going to throw this out and say that if this gets approved, that there needs to be put into the association's bylaws that these are part and responsibility need to be maintained, and that the association, if the homeowner doesn't do it in a certain amount of time, can do it and charge because this is for safety now. You're trying to replace streetlights with lamp posts. So this is a safety concern.
Yeah, I do hear your point. I mean, it's a fair and reasonable point. I don't see how we cannot add that the homeowner is responsible for it, or clarify it.
Yeah, it's got to be clarified.
We can clarify it. I don't foresee any issues with that. It should be something simple.
Amanda or Anna, do you have any more questions related to this? I mean,
and I'm sorry if you don't mind, if I may add, the cost of running these lampposts are not going to be that high. Just because you're running it through the general electricity of the house, so it gets really absorbed somehow. And then if you have a big street light and it gets hit for any reason via a car accident or whatever, you're gonna be down with the light for a while until it gets replaced or fixed. Here you have a number of street lights running through a street on either side of the road, where it will keep the streets pretty well lit up. And we've seen it in other communities where we've done the same concept, and it works really fine. We haven't seen any issues with darkness.
no, and I agree with you, Rami. I've seen them as well, although the ones I've seen have been a little taller than these, but.
and so are there no street lights at all?
Correct. It's not much different than what what Oldfield Estates looks like. It's not much different than what Pratttown looks like. It's the same idea. They're just driveway lanterns. If it has to be written in the association as to who's responsible, I'm sure Rami and Stonebridge can get some language together for it. I'm sure we can look up to see what Pratttown and whoever else has them is doing as well.
Okay. We haven't heard, Amanda, any questions on this one? Concerns?
So I'm just wondering, should you amend the HOA agreement, who is going to be responsible? Is it going to be the homeowners, or are they responsible for fixing it and they'll be reimbursed by the HOA? Like, what's the plan right now?
Because that kind of goes back to what Bob had mentioned earlier. Before, they were lampposts, which the homeowners were not going to be responsible for nor paying. And yes, they are LEDs. The cost to run them during the night, because they're on photocells, isn't going to be huge, but it does change from what was approved.
I mean, I think from a staff position, my question is, why are we dealing with this now if it's been ongoing since the beginning?
Well, that I would, as I'm looking, thinking the same thing. It's like, they're coming to, you're asking for this now, but this is the place, and I see a whole bunch of them.
I don't have an answer for that. I'm not sure if the Stonebridge team does.
I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
So as you're building a subdivision, a lot of times you start seeing some changes within the concept that look better. Sometimes you try things somewhere else before building here, like in this case here, and you say, you know what, that's a good idea, that works. It saves a little bit of money on the homeowners association with running those big lampposts throughout the entire site by having the cost just be minimal on the homeowner running those lampposts instead.
Yeah, but Rami, I just want to interrupt, just if I could. Here's the issue I'm having with this. This isn't a regular development. This is a 40B. You've got a lot of stuff that a normal development couldn't have. So you were allowed, the plans were approved. This is, to me, this is a safety issue, and you guys have deviated from the plans that were approved without asking. So I hear you, things work, but when it's all done, a lot of it's done, and now it's like, hey, we want to change it to this. It's like, you've already done that.
But let me ask you a question, and just for clarification. Were we not allowed to offer lampposts at all? And forget about the streetlights, assuming that we were still putting streetlights, were we not able to sell regular lampposts to homeowners if they decided to purchase one?
I would assume that's wasn't part of the plan, but you have the lights on the house, so it's like one out there. Again, where we're going on this one is that they're not very high. A street light is a lot higher, and they would be all taken care of by the association or whatever. Regardless of what's good or bad, I've got concerns from a safety issue with these, and with, as we kind of alluded to, the issue of who's responsible for them. And we say, oh, it's the homeowner, but no, streetlights are not part of the homeowner's responsibility. It's part of the development's responsibility. Or if it were a condominium association, it's the association's responsibility. And in this case, you have an association as well. Until you could get it approved by the town for the roads, the association would be responsible for it.
Especially in a development of this size, especially in a 40B.
Right. That's That's the issue we're having right here now, at least I'm having. I think, Anna, do you kind of agree there?
100%.
Just looking at your facial, saying, yeah, that's the problem.
Would you be agreeable to us sending you a video of, and it can be via, a drive-through and a drone to show you how well those lights work as far as looking at the safety part of it?
But
I
I think
think-
I think you're missing the point. They could be, as bright as Fort Knox. It's just, but then it's who's responsible at the end of
So
the day.
again, we're looking at a small expense for the homeowners to maintain those, and we would ensure that the homeowner association documentation requires that the homeowner has to maintain those streetlights. It's
I know it's going to be a small amount of electricity that's being used by it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it might be a small expense if it were to malfunction and the wiring goes bad. That might be a much larger expense to need an electrician to come out and assess what's wrong with it. So while I think operating them may be a small expense, it is still an expense, but it could be a larger expense if something larger were to happen to it.
Well, yeah, just over time, they're going to wear out. I mean, I've had to replace lampposts. And to your point, now you got to dig it all up. You got to redo it, put a new post in, rewire. And these are supposed to be streetlights. A person's lamp post is more for their own personal safety, whereas you're trying to circumvent these for streetlights.
That's why I asked you if there's any supplemental streetlights as well as these lampposts.
So the entrance does have streetlights, but that doesn't, it's not on the streets within the subdivision. So other than that, the main entrance, there is none. Other than the individual lampposts within the subdivision.
Yeah. Personally, I don't see this as a minor modification.
I don't.
This is a direct safety issue.
So do you want to vote on denying the minor modification?
For this one, unless someone else has more questions.
Excuse me.
I mean, I'd like to understand, and Rebecca, I think, had said potentially seeing how these work. That's one thing, yeah, I could take a drive down at night and say, yep, hey, this thing's lit up very well. Then we get to the next thing where, if in that, under that scenario where I think, the safety, the looms are good enough, everything's going to be able to be seen. Then the next one is dealing with the posts themselves. And Amanda brought up a good point, is that paying the electricity is only one thing. There's maintenance and replacement, which in normal developments would go under the association. These are all part of the individual homeowners. So, if something goes out, there would have to be, if this were to be approved, there would have to be language in the association agreement, at least in my opinion, that basically states the homeowner is responsible to do this. If they don't do it within a certain period of time, and it's not a long period, that the association would have the right and duty to replace that, and then, deal with the homeowner as far as collecting that. Any comments or thoughts on that, Anna or Amanda?
I mean, I think, but these houses have already been sold, so how are you going to now?
The association agree, the house, the association right now, I believe, is probably still under the general contractor. Aramia, do you have board members for the association from the ownership now, or is it still with the developer?
No, so there are two current board members, and they're both, part of the developers. I'm one of them. So we have the right to make changes.
Okay.
May I add one thing, Mr. Chairman, if possible?
Sure.
So we're talking about the maintenance of these lampposts. If we put in language, as you stated, whereby a lamppost is damaged or light bulbs need to be replaced, they have, I'm just throwing in a number, they have 30 days to replace, or 5 days, whatever number of days that is reasonable we put in. If they don't do it, the HOA will come in, replace it, and then they can build the homeowner. But the maintenance of the light should be under the purview of the homeowner, because they're buying the house with the light. It's like any other maintenance item within the house.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but they're-
no, hold on. Yeah, go ahead, Anna.
But that's where you're missing the point. It's not this light is replacing the street light. So if the street light was what you were allowed to have when you built these plans under the 40B and under the plans that we originally approved, you were to have street lights. You, on your own initiative and on your own choice, by your own choice and your own design, replace the street lights with these lampposts. And you now then gave them to the homeowner. So you now can't give the homeowners this responsibility and say, well, it's your choice now, and now you, homeowner, have to fix it, and it's your responsibility at your cost, and because you've passed it down to the homeowners. So it's not because that they've taken on this responsibility and this cost, and you've just passed it down to them, because now it's their safety and their responsibility.
Yeah, you've just taken what you got approved in these plans and supplemented the homeowner for your responsibility. That's where we're having the consternation here. And you've pushed all the responsibility off of the association, the building association, and onto the individual homeowner. Well, that's not what was approved. And again, we're talking street lights and street lamps, and street lights would be part. Yes, there wouldn't be as many, but they're still spread out. They still went through an engineering design to make sure that the brightness and covers a certain amount of area. And maybe these do cover more now, but you're missing the point. You just completely substituted the homeowner for your responsibility. And it's a safety concern. And you didn't even ask. You just went ahead and did it.
But we're here asking, we haven't said that we're not putting the street lights. We're here asking if we can not put them. So the subdivision is still being built. If the decision is no, you still need the street lights, okay, we'll go ahead and decide, to put the street lights. But we haven't said that, oh, we're not gonna do it. We're asking you to remove that condition.
Yes, and it's
so that, let's not forget that part where.
No, I'm not. And trust me, Rami,
yeah.
I'm not, because
And-
what I want you
and-
guys to understand is that you were approved for a plan with streetlights. This is to me is absolutely not a minor modification at all.
Okay.
And this is a serious modification that you're trying to put in because you put street lamps or lamp posts on each property. Okay, that doesn't circumvent the whole street light issue. At least in my opinion. Again,
So you're
Amanda
coming-
and Anna, you have.
you're coming to us to say that you do, can you put in these lampposts? And so I appreciate that you're coming to us to say, hey, is this a minor modification? You want to put these things in. But as you can see, we have these host of concerns. If you can address these concerns, then I hope you hear what we're saying, and here's all the concerns that we have about putting in these lampposts when you bring this request to us. And here are our reasons why we think that the lamppost should not be installed, or why we have issues with the lamppost being installed.
And just to understand, because we're talking about a lot of points here. Are we not allowed to put lampposts at all going forward on the rest of the?
That's not the issue.
That is absolutely not the issue.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you there is no issue with that. Okay.
No, I mean,
There might
I
be-
hear the other part, but I just want to confirm that, if we keep doing it, you're not gonna be, you're not gonna have an issue with it.
no.
This
Okay.
might be unrelated, but if you're gonna then put in streetlights, then I think it would be up to the homeowners whether or not they're able to turn on and off these lamps. Because if you're saying, oh, it's just a part of the property, maybe you can give them the autonomy now to use that as a regular light that's on their property, and not, oh, they're being forced to keep it on, all the time or when it's dark to provide light to the street. But if you actually put in streetlights, then yes, that just becomes a regular
Amenity.
driveway lantern.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That they should be able to control themselves,
Right, and if they're photosensitive, if you're close to the streetlight, your light may never come on.
Potentially. But the other thing too is when you get into this, are they all the same? And what happens if one has to be replaced? And if you have the homeowner doing it, there's got to be rules in there that, okay, here's what you have to do. And it just keeps snowballing into more and more issues. Because you're trying to substitute these for streetlights. Streetlights are there for safety reasons. That's why they're required to be in a development, which is how we approved it. As I said, there was an engineering study done as to how far apart they had to be, how high they had to be, how much looms they put off, and now you're trying to circumvent that with lampposts on a house.
Understood.
So. Do you have, I'll say Anna, Amanda, do you have anything else? Any other questions, concerns that haven't been voiced?
I don't have any further comments.
No. Rebecca or Rami, do you have anything additional that you feel we should take into consideration?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you guys can hear me. This is Mohammed Aitani. I happen to be out of town and I logged in. I am a co-manager of Duxboro Estates as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually seeing multiple towns requiring that we put lampposts and not streetlights. I want to emphasize, we're asking you if, because we're doing that as standard in all the houses, and we're going to continue to do that on all the houses, we believe that streetlights at this point are not needed. Those lots are, on average, are actually 80 feet wide on average. So when you have houses on both sides of the street, you have a lamppost every 40 feet, which will give you a lot more lighting and a lot more safety than streetlights. Now, we did not make the decision on our own. We're in front of you now to ask you, do you want us to install the streetlights, knowing that we're making standard part of our package, and out of every house, we put those streetlights in place, those lampposts in place. So if you want us to put the streetlights, we'll be more than happy to put them. So we're in front of you. We're telling you that they really are not needed, and we have a couple of communities that actually the boards are requesting that we put lampposts and not streetlights. So we felt it's a great idea, and I remember in Easton we had a community where the town decided to turn off all the streetlights in subdivisions because of costs associated with them. Obviously, the neighbors were up in arms, and then Easton ended up turning them back up
Back
again.
on, yes.
That's correct. So part of our package that we sell, we install those lampposts, and the homeowners association clearly says that people have to keep their yards and their houses exactly like the rest of the community. So if somebody's lamppost goes out, it's their responsibility to replace it so that they can keep it within the exactly like the rest of the houses. Again, the board, it's your decision. If you want us to install streetlights, we'll be more than happy to install streetlights. I believe, and Rebecca, I'm not sure if you have a count, if you had a chance to make a count as we're listening to this, on how many streetlights. There were very, very few streetlights actually proposed on the plans, mostly at intersections and I believe at end of cul-de-sacs. So if I'm gonna count, I'm gonna make a guesstimate. I don't have the plans in front of me. There's probably less than 20 throughout the whole community.
I'm
This
looking
way,
now.
we're actually like, I'm sorry, Rebecca, say that?
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, so there are very few streetlights actually proposed. We believe this is a much safer way. Again, we're more than happy to install the streetlights. This is why in front of you, we believe that there is no need for them at this point because we made this standard throughout the whole community.
And Mohammed, I think if you maybe had proposed that initially, we could have discussed and I think, and I'm not going to speak for them directly, but it seems like we have a shared concern with, yes, you say, hey, you're responsible to keep your lamppost. Well, now you're substituting lampposts for streetlights. Those are there required as part of the building codes in a development for safety reasons. If they go out and the person doesn't do it, there's,
We will add language to the homeowners association, and we have the right to do that, to require that homeowners maintain and make sure that their lights are always on. And we can give a homeowner, Rami suggested 30 days. I think that's a reasonable request, especially that, again, every 40 feet, there's a lamppost. And that really, again, we're happy to install the streetlights. And this is not, and probably people are always suspicious of why developers are doing things. We believe it adds a lot of charm to the community. It adds a lot of safety to the community, the way we're doing it. And like I said, the streetlights are actually at intersections and end of cul-de-sacs, if I remember the plans correctly. And we don't have too many of them. We'll be more than happy to install them. This is why we're in front of you, asking you, guys, we're doing this as standard. Every single house comes with a lamppost. And the total cost of 148 lampposts exceeds like multiple times the cost of a lamppost. We're not trying to say the cost of a streetlight. We're not trying to save money here. We're trying to just say, if we put streetlights, it'll actually be too much light. And again, we would still install a streetlight in areas that are dark. Let's say that there is a stretch where there are no houses. We would still install a streetlight where it was required.
Yeah, and as you were speaking, Mohammed, that running through my head was, okay, you're at intersections. What if there's, I haven't been through the development in ages, so, and I don't have the plans in front of me, so I don't know if there are driveways, because it seems like the lampposts to the right or generally to the right of the driveway. If there are, as you kind of say, there's dark spots, and a lamppost isn't going to do it, but there could be a street light. I'll make a suggestion.
That's a reasonable request. And we were planning to do that, by the way. Maybe we should have started with that any dark areas, we will be installing the street lights where they were required.
I would make a suggestion that maybe we table this, continue it, and that you provide us with a plan that shows us where the lights actually are now, and some proposed language that would address the issue of this issue of now the ownership is on the homeowner's responsibility and what would happen. Because again, the concern here is the cost onto the homeowner, but as well the safety, because these are being substituted for street lights. So if you could provide us with a site plan that shows us, where the street lights would have to be, the dark spots, and some language that would address the issue of the substitution to ensure that these lamp posts are properly maintained, and then I would ask Anna or Amanda, do you think that's a reasonable request? That's my suggestion. But again, I'm only one person on the board.
Yeah, we'll be more than happy to ask for this specific request to be tabled to the next meeting, or when we're ready to provide you with the plans and the language, as well as which street lights we're gonna install because of lack of housing in that specific area.
Yeah. Would that be
For me, I'm most interested in the language. I think, personally, I like the look of lampposts better than streetlights, but I am concerned about the safety issue. And so for me, I'd like to see that language, and what the requirements would be for the homeowners. And, if the lamppost gets hit by a snow plow, in the middle of winter, then whose responsibility is it, and how soon, and who has to bear that cost? So I'd like to see that language.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we will add it to the homeowners association documents. We would run the language by you before we actually make the modification to the homeowners association.
okay? And just as a general question, because I've actually served on a few of those. After this, once the development's done and you have the association, and this is purely finance, if the association had to replace it, will they have the funds to do it? I mean, I don't know how much you guys are charging and what it's supposed to be covering. Is it a reserve or
Yeah, we do have actually, we're collecting today around $400 a year per homeowner. And that includes snow plowing, maintaining the landscaped areas at the entrance of the subdivision. This is $400 a year, not a month. And we actually have quite a bit of reserve. I'm not sure Rami would know how much, even though not everybody, we don't have obviously all the houses lived in, but we have a significant reserve. But we're gonna make it as part of the homeowner's responsibility. I mean, it came with the house. It's part of what they bought. Those were installed before people bought, and everybody who bought knows that there is going to be a street lamp that's going to be connected to their house. This is not like going to be a surprise to the homeowners, to the lampposts, I mean.
Okay, so I would ask that either Anna or Amanda, if you would make a motion for continuance of this to the next available meeting, or when Duxborough requests the meeting.
Sure, I will make a motion to continue the request for the minor modification for the lamppost for the Duxborough Estates to the next meeting, or whenever they are ready to present.
Okay.
Exactly. Thank you.
Can we get a second on that, Amanda?
I think you
Yes,
need to
I'll-
set a date. The next meeting is October 8th.
Okay.
So we can always continue it, but
Right.
you have to have a date.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
So we're
so
gonna
October
we
8th.
will. So we'll modify that, Anna, to continue it until the October 8th meeting.
Certainly.
Okay. Do I get a second on that motion?
Yes, I'll second that motion.
All right. All in favor, Anna?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Myself, aye. So that will be carried forward to the October 8th meeting. The modification for the adjustment to the lot 48 has been approved, and you will be receiving a notification on that from the town.
One more request on the list.
Yeah, we have a
Okay.
couple of them, right?
Well, we've done 2 out of the 3, so this
Oh,
is the
sorry.
third one.
Oh,
The
all right.
third one is to, if you're ready, to allow an average of 3.25 bedrooms per, for the overall development. And what do I mean by that? When this was originally approved, given the number of lots, 148, and given an average of 3 bedrooms per lot is what was approved. Markets have changed and COVID happened, and COVID has brought a lot of people to work from home. Work from home, play from home, need an extra room, needed a little bit of extra space. And so the average of the overall, we're asking for the increase from 3 on average to the 3.25. And what does that feel like? Right now, there's 96 homes that have been sold. 4 are 2 bedrooms, 20 homes are 4 bedrooms, 72 homes are 3 bedrooms. So that gives you 304 bedrooms off the 96 homes. So the average right now with the 96 homes is 3.2, 3.17, depending on how you want to round it. So because COVID, everything is because of COVID these days, but people need to work at home, so they need the extra space. So we're asking for the overall average of the whole development, 3.25.
Yeah, but Rebecca, that also gets into what was approved because of, in the mix of what's affordable and what is market.
Yes, that would adjust.
So how is that going to be taken care of in this scenario?
The average would have to balance out. I don't have the stats on that, but I know the number of affordable homes currently still meets the requirements.
Well, yes,
Okay,
the number may meet the requirement, but there was a specific in the plan as to, how many 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, and of that, how many had to be affordable versus market rate. So
right.
what does this, I'd like to see what this does, what this proposal does to what was approved as far as what's being constructed, because those 4 bedrooms, might not be getting a whole lot of, affordables buying 4 bedrooms.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I may, Mohammed Itani again.
Yep.
Actually, the what Rebecca said is the average today is 3.2. On the affordables we already have up, it's closer to 3.3. So actually, we have as a ratio, we have more 4 bedrooms in the affordables than we have in the market rate ones. So the end result will be the affordables will have an equal representation. Our expectations were we're going to have a lot more 2 bedrooms than we're currently getting. The market conditions can change, and we might get more ranches, which is part of what we offer. For somehow we're not getting as many traction on those as we thought, or what our experience has been in previous communities. So, and that's why we're requesting this change. But at the end of the day, we will make sure that the affordables will have at least the 3.25 on average. Actually, they're going to slightly higher, than the rest of the community. So it'll be a bonus for the affordables.
All right. That would have to be a condition, I think, for this. Anna, or Amanda, any questions on this one?
I don't have any at this time.
Anna?
I think that's the opposite of what we just heard, but yeah, no conditions. I mean, no questions, excuse me.
Questions. But again, Mohammed, my questions, and it seems like you understood it, that it is that because it's a 40B, you still got to, we can't make a whole bunch of the affordable units much lower. They'd have to be at a minimum, be at the same average as the overall development.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said today, the way it stands today, it's probably 3.3 of the affordables are 4 bedrooms, and the market rates are probably 3.15, the averages. So out of the 24 bedrooms, I believe 8 are affordables are 4 bedrooms. So so now we have 40% of the 4 bedrooms are affordables.
Okay.
So the ratio is higher.
All right.
So far, we're gonna make sure that whatever the end result will be, that the affordables will have at least what you said, at least the exact number of bedrooms.
Well, yeah, because for
I
us
think you
to
need to
approve
see
this,
those numbers.
pardon?
I think you need to see those numbers.
Well, I agree, and
We have to report. We have to report at the end of the community. Part of our report that goes to mass housing, and then it gets approved by the town. We actually have to specify how many 4-bedroom houses, how many 2-bedroom houses, how many 3-bedroom houses, and how many were 4 bedrooms affordables to make sure that it's equal spread throughout the community.
Yeah, I mean, that is a requirement of the 40B.
That's correct.
So I think
Right.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Anna.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, absolutely.
Since we are tabling this until October 8th, can we see the numbers as well? Until October 8th, because how many you're switching for the,
So we don't know what the rest of this community is going to look like. It depends on the buyers, obviously, that come to us. But we're going to make sure that we're not going to exceed the 3.25 that we're requesting, and we will make sure that the affordables will have the minimum, will have at least an equal amount percentage-wise as the market rate.
Yeah, I mean, and a part of my request for any kind of motion would be that at the end of the day, this is only approved, and the way it is approved is that the affordable and the market rates as a whole share the same number of bedrooms.
That's correct.
Same average.
And that's what we're doing. We'll make sure that will be the case. And it is currently like it is more like the affordables have more as a percentage of 4 bedrooms than the market rates.
Could I, Mohammed, so again, also when you presented the plan, you didn't start changing the plans that you submitted for the constructions of the houses as far as footprint and everything.
We added more plans. We're still marketing the same plans. We added few more plans because it's market conditions that see what's happening is that Title V requires any room more than 70 square feet that provides privacy is considered a bedroom. So that created an issue. And people are requiring, we have sometimes homeowners, actually we have quite a bit of homeowners that work from home, and they needed that extra space, and they requested that we have those. So it's 70 square feet is what Title V requires. So any area that affords privacy that's more than 70 square feet is considered a bedroom. That's why we're in front of you.
Okay, and I sure wish Steve were here. But Bob, as far as what was approved in relation to the plans for at least the footprint that each house is sitting on, if those were the footprints, I guess the internal portion, you can move a wall or something, but if the footprints change, isn't that a change also to the?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, and I get it. I'm not against this. If staff isn't against it, but procedurally, I think we need to make sure that we're following the rules. But yeah, I get the market changes, but if you're deciding that, people prefer a ranch versus a cape, and we never saw a ranch in terms of the approved plans, well, that's changing it up.
Yeah.
We had a mixture of all. We had ranches, we had 1.5 stories, and we had 2 stories. So we really have the mix. That mix in that way did not change.
Well, I
We
think
changed-
that to Anna's comment, I mean, us being able, the board and the town being able to see, the spreadsheet that shows what was approved and where you're moving now is going to be helpful.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Mohammed, I think we'd like to continue this as well to get a little bit more information on what has been done. I understand, you're offering multiple different home designs, and the buyers are going to pick what they want. So you can't really tell us right today or tomorrow or on October 8th exactly what they're going to purchase. But it would be good to understand what's been done today, what units you've sold, and get the percentages of everything up to this time, and then we can rule on that. And as part of the overall changes being requested there, and putting into the approval that, as we kind of alluded to here, well, we may approve this, and when we do, there's going to be a condition that the overall number of bedrooms in the development is the same as the overall number of bedrooms in the affordable units as well.
Yeah, that will be the case. So definitely we'll give you the exact numbers how we stand today, and probably the remainder of the houses, the 50 or so houses that are remaining, will be a continuation of what's being built currently.
Okay, so yeah, if you could have that information available for the next meeting, that would be very helpful.
Excellent, will do.
All right, so at this time, Amanda, if you'd make a motion to do a continuance on the request for the expansion of the bedroom sizes, number of bedrooms, actually, till the October 8th meeting.
Sure. I'll make a motion to continue the request to extend the bedroom sizes for the Duxborough Estates to the October 8th meeting.
All right. Do I get a second on that?
I'll second that.
All right, everybody in favor? Anna?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
And myself, aye. So we're going to continue the request for the increase in the number of bedroom sizes to the October 8th meeting, at which time the applicant will provide additional information as to what has been constructed, both for market and affordable, and where the average number of bedrooms as a whole and for the affordable stands at the time of the October 8th meeting. All right, Rebecca, is that it?
At the moment, that is it. Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
Rebecca, I thought we have another lot line that we need to change, lot 63.
We already dealt with it.
No, may
No.
I? May I?
Yes, please go ahead.
The town has not received that information before this meeting.
I
So
see, okay.
they
Yeah,
should be
that's why
getting
I
it
thought-
before the October 8th meeting, and then I can act on it then.
Excellent. There's another lot that we need to modify the lot line slightly. That's why I said 4, and then Rebecca
Yeah.
corrected me with
They
3.
didn't get it in time.
Okay.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
much.
Appreciate it. Good night.
Bye.
Very
Thank
good.
you very
Bye.
much, everybody. We appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, so for the board, we have one more item. We have approval of the minutes from the October 27th meeting, which were circulated.
Make a motion to approve the August 27th, 2025 minutes.
Do I have a second?
I would love to second it.
All right, all in favor? Anna?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Myself, aye. So the meeting minutes from the August 27th have been approved. That being the last item on the agenda, get a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll
All
second.
right. Seconded, so we are adjourned. Bob, you got anything left?
Nothing left.
All right. A little longer than I would have liked. Okay.
Thanks,
All right,
everyone.
everybody. Appreciate it.
Good night,
seeing you all.
everybody.
See you
Guys.
on the
Bye.
8th. Bye-bye.